I am not a successful
fantasy
adult.
player.
I don't eat vegetables and or take care of myself.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, One Take Productions now brings to you on behalf of YoMo Fantasy League and COMMISTRO, the COMMISTRO and Bad Guy Show. Where you at, Commish? I'm sure something tells me he's going to be in a good mood today. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Commish. I figured you'd be in good spirits today. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely. I was such good spirits. I had to sit down for this take. I had to sit down. I couldn't stand. I had too much energy going into week 7. Week 6 was awesome. So let's just get started on what's going on with week 6. But how are you doing? I know you're struggling a little bit today, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got a little bit, last week I had the Red Rifle blues. This week I got the Red Rifle regret. There's nothing worse than losing. There's nothing worse than losing a game so I was on the fence about the Red Rifle or Levis, but Levis was due to do something, and gosh, the Colts defense is terrible. And then there's nothing worse than losing and looking back and seeing, geez, if I would have put this guy here, I mean, if I start Dalton and Pitts, I win that game. Instead, I got to deal with Aaron's pleas for a congratulatory text, the day after. So it's haunting me a little bit, but it is what it is. I guess Will Levis is just not very good. I mean, I don't know how you go a whole game with 80 yards passing in the NFL.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but somebody put out on social media the other day that Will Levis is having an all-time meme season. It's hilarious. If I find it on the edit, I'll put it in there. But all the memes that he's created for himself in the last 6 or 7 weeks has been absolutely outstanding. So congrats to having him on your roster.
Yeah, gee, thanks. And also on that note, while you're talking about edits, for the 5 or 6 people listening on Spotify, please go ahead and tune in to the enhanced 2.0 version on YouTube video. You get the video edits, a couple of extras, and I'm not going to give it all away, but it's definitely worth a view and a like, of course. I still don't understand how we have 12 people in the league and 9 viewers, and 9 subscribers, but whatever.
I saw we gained one. Your buddy Aaron subscribed just the other day, so we gained another subscriber.
Just the other day.
Yes, just the other day. I didn't see the exact day, but hey. What's that?
What week is this? Week 6?
It is week 6, going into 7.
And he just subscribed the other day. It just shows you the arrogance on him. I expected him to be last, and he's not even last, which is even worse.
Hey,
but anyway.
Sponsors are watching. We just don't have any money yet.
We'll get there. Anyhow, I will let you do your thing for the weekly recap. I guess it's about that time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get ready for the week 6 weekly awards. And just like every single week, we start off.
Kaiser Soze! Did you hear that? No. Somebody in this league is Kaiser Soze. The dog heard it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commish. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to stay focused. I'm a little scared.
Well, we got to start off with the GM of the week. And this week, no, it is not you. And there's a couple of you out there that also know it's not you. But it's none other than, well, wait a minute. Let me have him tell you.
Holy cow, a special
guest.
Oh,
people of the league.
No wonder he subscribed.
Listen, first of all, Marcus, I subscribed week 1, but at the end of your little fucking podcast, you said everyone subscribed but Aaron, so I unsubscribed, and I left a comment which you didn't respond to. I guess all 3 comments were too much for you to manage.
So, we really need to get some staff here to help with those little things. Okay. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
But that's right, baby. The league's all-time leader in championships, in wins, is the first guest on this podcast. But
not wins, but championships.
Kaiser Soze! Is he here? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, this is back-to-back weeks that I've had to put a dog down, and while putting down my dog of 15 years was the most painful experience in my life. Putting down my other dog of 20 years, Marcus, was quite enjoyable. Oh man! Listen, Marcus, your managing last week was as weak as your microphone in week 1 of this little podcast.
Yeah, it was. It was tough because sometimes you just gotta go. You gotta go with your guts. I mean, let's face it. 2 weeks ago, the Red Rifle didn't do anything, and Deontay Johnson with him. And I was scared about putting too much skin in that one game, and figured I'd take the risk, and it burned me. It's nothing worse than the next day where, if I would have put this guy in there. And Will Levis is terrible. I mean, it's one thing if it's close, what are you going to do? But man, he was just. I still don't understand how an offensive coach has a quarterback in this league only throw for 80 yards in a game, and it's not like they ran the ball for 300 yards. They couldn't run it. They couldn't throw it against the worst defense in the league. Just terrible.
As long as it doesn't burn when you pee, it's okay to get burned by your players.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Wow, that's good advice. Okay, yeah, I like that.
And also, it is pretty sad. I had to ask you to congratulate me. You have no couth.
Oh yeah, there was no. Yeah, you'd have been sitting by the phone. Yeah, you'd have joined the long list. Although you'd be the ugliest person on that list of people waiting for me to give them a call back. That's for sure.
Listen, I don't know if you can read my hoodie, but it says legend, and that's because I'm a goddamn legend in this league.
Geez,
all right,
in your own mind. Okay, congratulations.
Marcus, I roasted you a little bit, and it's not fair to just go after you. So I need to go to the rest of you fucking losers in this league, right? Do a little Justin roast like he did at the draft, and I'm going to start with Justin. So Justin, your team is as dead as your dreams of ever having sex in a car again. In fact, your team's dreams of winning a championship are as dead as your wife and my ex-wife's dreams of us being faithful to them. And then, our little commissioner next to me. Listen, Jeremy, are you giving up on fantasy and life? Because it appears you've decided to not trim your beard until you win a championship. For the sake of your family, just trim it. It's making everyone uncomfortable feeling like they have to put loose change in your cup. And also, Jeremy, if you keep putting lineups together, playoff lineups, like you do softball playoff lineups, you're never going to win the shit. Stick with what got you there, buddy. Okay?
Okay.
All
right.
There's no BA on my fantasy roster.
That's true.
No
but let's go to our favorite Indian, the topless tech support. Listen, like the original MacBook, you start off great, but you're going to eventually get the blue screen of death. So listen, enjoy toasting the town with your 7-Eleven Slurpee cup, but remember that frozen treat is going to melt soon. Right?
Hey, does anybody know if Barry got his turban yet?
Think you come again.
Oh, that's something Marcus has never heard from a woman.
Tech support did want me to relay to you, Marcus, that he is not the turban kind of Indian. Nor is
he told me. To me, they're all one shade of brown, brother. There's no difference.
$75 an hour, Indian.
It's how we feel about you being Mexican, so I get it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Okay.
And what about young Sheldon? He didn't release a new power ranking last week, but I realized why. It's because he's too busy being a power bottom to Jeremy yesterday's softball game as he grounded out the short. So,
wow.
Sorry,
wow.
He didn't make a diving catch that saved the game, so I have to give him that. So
he did make a diving catch.
Power bottom. Okay.
Yeah. We got a little yelling spat across the diamond yesterday.
Yep, they did.
That's bound to happen.
So what about flip flops? AKA the original computer drafter. I think he used tech support's blue screen of death computer to draft this year. Huh? I don't know. Not doing great. And speaking of not doing great, last year's champ.
Ooh,
Hank.
Yeah, it's tough to repeat.
Hank, your team is racking up L's faster than you're racking up LBs. It might be time for you both to go on Ozempic, buddy. I mean, damn.
Wow. Okay.
We're going from big to skinny, scrawny fucks. Let's go to Jake. I think this just proves that getting an invite based on nepotism doesn't mean you're ready to fucking be here, dude.
Well, that's
quit.
true.
Just like McCaffrey, just fucking go away. And our most feminine-looking person in this fucking league, Jeff. Your team's 3-3. That's like a dude with a ponytail trying to figure out if they want to transition or not.
Oh, jeez, Louise, man.
Oh,
And
It's
now I got to
never,
get to Rob.
you just blew a tranny.
I have to get
he's
to
very
Rob because
cool.
no one here will talk poorly about Rob, right?
Cause it's so-
Nobody.
He's too cool.
I mean,
He's
well,
too
shit.
cool.
After last night's defensive efforts with 2 tag outs at home,
Incredible.
I can't make fun of him either. But I will say this. Left-handed people die 7 years quicker than right-handed people. So enjoy your short life like you enjoy your short stature, buddy.
Wow. I'm left-handed, but it's okay. It's almost enough already. So I could take the 7 years off. It's all right.
Wow.
But I got one final person, and it's who I'm playing this week. That's Barry.
Come
Barry,
on, Bear.
you already know what's going to happen, Barry. I'm going to take your glory away as easily as I took your starting pitcher position away on our softball team. Fuck all of you.
Jeez.
History is back. The champ is here.
Oh, jeez.
And
I was hoping,
congratulations to Aaron for being our GM of the week.
That's me.
congratulations, jerk off.
You're welcome, Marcus.
And just so everybody knows, yes, I'm still the commissioner. However, don't mind that. Everything that he did was not pre-planned by me. I had no idea what he was going to write. I didn't see any of it. He just popped in at the right time, and hey, he happened to be GM of the week, so here he was. So
Like and subscribe.
congratulate him for putting a whooping on you this week, Marcus. Unfortunately,
I don't know if it was a whipping, but okay. I mean, to the victor go the spoils. There's only but so much I can say. Okay,
Yeah. Well, let's continue on with these awards.
go for it.
Because the next award this week is going to be the G-Pow for the greatest pickup and player of the week. Once again, check this out, Marcus. Second week in a row, we have the very rare sister kiss.
Isn't a tie like the same thing as kissing your sister?
And this week, it's a bit more positive for both of them. But this week, it goes to Harold and Kumar, both of the G-Pows that took them over the top.
What I do is I just try to take my hat and I turn it around, and it's like a switch that goes on. And when the switch goes on, I feel like another
First of all,
person.
Kumar, which we all know who it is,
Yeah.
he ran down to White Castle Sunday morning. Before his Tinker Stinker time.
All right, now push it. Focus. Don't look away. Don't look away.
He picked up Tyrone Tracy, who was on the waiver wire. He
Okay.
dropped 22 points on grass, which was one of the reasons he came back to win and continue to only have one loss. Then
I'll
the
tell
other
you,
guy, Harold,
Mhm.
yeah? Go
I
ahead.
was actually rooting for him, for Kumar this week because
We were
I
all rooting
him-
against.
well, I wasn't because he's not in my division. So for me, I was rooting for him to come back in that game because then it just put. I think it's Rob that's ahead of me now, but it's just one person to jump and it's one less game to have to make up in my division. So for me, I was glad that he came back. I was rooting for him. It's not turban worthy. I don't expect a turban in return, but I was rooting for him.
Well, hey, then we come to Harold, who is better known as our GM of the week and the only three-time champion, current champion in your mouth. Grabbed the Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense during Week 6 waiver period, plopped them right into his lineup, and their 17 points as a defense, and not even a drafted defense, led him to the 8-point victory over Bad Guy.
Yeah, that
So-
was a good pickup. Yeah, it was a good pickup.
Congrats to that sister kiss. Pa-pow!
Uh,
Pa-pow!
Jeez.
And speaking of our GM of the week and special guest star, we move on to the not Aaron's slimmest victory. And I'll tell you what, Marcus, in a shocking turn of events, Jake.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Jacob
Oh,
Michael Murray. He is now in charge, and all of a sudden, he's making a little run.
Yeah.
So he slipped past Rob, of all people. Rob, high point score machine, coolest guy in the league.
Definitely.
Jake slipped by him by 2 points because of that dude on the Jets that catches balls on Monday night. Big performance out of him. And Jake goes on for the second week in a row to win an award, the Not Aaron slimmest victory.
Wow.
After we get on to these good awards, we got to move on to somebody who we spoke about a little bit earlier, or I guess Aaron spoke about, and we're going to go to the weakest GM of the week. And honestly, Marcus, I'm at a loss. I really am.
Really?
I mean, it is hard to believe that a former multi-time champ, notoriously great drafter, and a top 3, I'd say, of all time in your mom, he's only 2-4 to start the season. I mean, he wasn't even able to break the century mark. He only got 91 points this week.
Ouch, man! I wish I would have played him.
Hey, I wish I would have played him this week instead of the 1 week he actually beats me. But this isn't the first time he's not broken 100. Out of 3 out of his 4 losses, or 3 out of the full 6 games, he hasn't broke 100. He's got 2 wins where he scored 154 and 146, which is incredible, and it's
good points,
strong, right? It's very respectable. But of course, I had to be on the other end of one of those. But it hasn't quite been that way all season. But I will say that this past week, he didn't have his number 1 and number 2, kind of number 1 guys who catch balls. Both of them are down. His number 2 running back, which is really a number 1 running back, he was out this week with Jonathan Taylor. But this is fantasy. You can't blame injury because you don't have depth in your lineup. Not my fault, not your competitor's fault. It's your fault because you didn't draft very well, just like Aaron said earlier. But
that's a definition of a self-inflicted wound.
But I also can blame him for having Dak Prescott, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, only got him 6 points. That's 5 plus 1. 6. His number 1 QB. And another guy who's supposed to catch balls for him this weekend had 0 points. One of his ball catchers had 0 points in the lineup. Flip-flop McFadden, you are the weakest GM after week 6. And you know what? I'm sorry to tell you, but hey, buddy, Aiden O'Connell ain't getting you there. He's not the answer.
Oh, did he pick him up?
Oh, I checked out the waiver wire this morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good for him. All right. Well, apparently Devante Adams liked him, but that's not a thing anymore. But okay.
And here moving on to the next award is one of the league's finest awards. And I know that our GM of the week enjoys this one as well. It's the Charlie Orndorff saddest performance. And look, I grew up in a middle-class family. My mother and my father worked hard. They saved up enough to put me through college, which I paid for through loan after loan. And at finally 6, I finally paid those loans off.
Congrats.
But while I was in college, I learned how to start my first fantasy team. But your mom is not going to be unburdened by what has been.
No joke. Here's the deal. Let me be clear. Anyway, guess what? And by the way, here's the deal. I'm being serious right now. Come on, look at me.
Easily, I could have given it to McFadden for his sad 91 points and his 40-point loss. But that's too easy, right? That's too easy. There's 2 other guys out there that watching this podcast, Marcus, watching this video or listening to the podcast, and they're just sweating bullets right now. You know, they are both hoping they don't get this award. Well, I have good news for one of you. It's not you. This week, the Hank
Hi, my name is Scott Schulze. Back home, they call me Hank, and I hit dingers.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I mean, this is the saddest season you had since you had a partner run your team with you. Even worse, he had literally no points on his bench. Like, we can't even blame his bench for having guys that could have helped him win. He had no points on his bench. In fact, his old man DeAndre Hopkins, catcher ball guy, he only had 9 points, which was actually better than the number one guy who catches balls on his roster this weekend. And sadly, that was even lower than ESPN's liberal projections. It's so sad, man. So sad. And I really want to cry. I don't know what else to do for the Hank, man. Like, what do you think, Aaron? I mean, it's the Hank.
Well, Hank, I think your entire roster is on Ozempic with points. So maybe you should borrow some from them. Drop some LBs, drop some Ls. But that's enough of being sad. Now let's move on to the biggest disappointment of the week. Our favorite Mixon. Oh my gosh. Oh, you had a chance to beat Earpiece and Z's and kick him right in the goat scrote and drop him to 2 losses in a row after his undefeated start.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You had the chance to turn him into the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles after his hot start just absolutely collapsed him like he's flying into... No, it's too soon. But just like that snake charmer that he is, you let him come
Off the
backside
hook.
on you like Usher at a Diddy party.
A lot of positions that I think I was put in.
And I
Jeez.
heard him. He called me up and he said, I'm not going to even play my quarterback who wasn't playing in the lineup, and I still beat Justin.
Yeah, we're gonna have
And
to hear that.
I know Justin, Chris Olave, blah, blah, blah. But that's no excuse. When Olave goes down, you don't sit around and pout about it. You have to get up. You have a responsibility. You get out there and you find that freaking dog.
You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
I'm
Yeah,
not mad.
scour the waiver wire. I mean, the information's
I'm not
out there.
mad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I get it. With good reason. Yeah. I'm glad.
Baby oil?
I'm glad he
Baby
bent
oil is a
over.
sponsor. Johnson's Baby Oil as a sponsor? Maybe.
Yeah.
No Diddy?
KY.
Oh, KY is a good one. too.
KY. Yeah, it's a big one. Might as well.
Coconut oil? Next, we're going to move on to the J&B highest points of the week.
I'm just really high.
And you know what? I was sitting back this weekend after Monday, after Tuesday, and I thought for myself, I'm going to win a nice little, I had a nice little Sunday for sure. I'm going to rack up another high points of the week, get the Commish another award. But of course, young Sheldon had to have a tremendous Monday night showing.
Oh dear.
As well as a diving catch to save our softball game on Tuesday night. But he pulls out this week's highest points of the week with 166 points.
Woo, that's a good week. That's a
Side
good
note,
week.
if my defense and running back that I had to put in the lineup this week because my number one was on a bye could have put something together, I might have been able to get there. But anyways, which takes us out to the biggest blowout. And then young Sheldon again turns it around and gives the biggest blow to the defending champ. Beat the Hank by 60 points. What a massacre. What a massacre.
Oh dear.
60 points. It was no DP. Aaron knows all about that. But a 60-point win is a big win.
Absolutely.
So, next, before we got a couple more before we get out of here, but we can't leave without doing the Bryce Young bench of the week.
We're benching you.
And this league is so crazy this year. I mean, there's so much parity in this league, Marcus. You know, we talked about it the other day. And you know what? I didn't even look at the benches until I started this morning. I knew I had 2 Bears players on the bench. One scored 25, one scored 39.
Yeah.
I had to have one, the Bryce Young. I had to have it in the bag this week.
Yeah.
But this morning, I started putting my stuff together, started putting my thoughts together for this podcast, and started working on the script. And I decided to double check everyone's bench. And there was one person that had 95 points
Holy
on
crap.
their bench.
Who's
95.
that?
I had 84. I didn't think it could get beat. 95.
Holy
right?
crap.
And sitting there on the bench like a number 1 pick in the draft. But hey, Jake was in charge of Rob this week, and Jake was, or maybe was not, in charge of his bench with the 95 points he left there. He only won by 2. But get this. Mark Andrews finally woke up, had 15 points. Stephon Diggs woke up with 19.
Finally.
Keenan Allen woke up with 21. It's like old timers week on the bench. But then the pied de resistance in his first start, the UNC alumni, coincidentally, Jacob is a giant Tar Heel fan.
Okay.
He painted the bench with 30 points in his debut. Wow. It's even more interesting that with 95 points on the bench, he still had one of his guys with 0 points and another guy on the bye. So with all the bench spots, it was 95 just between Mark Andrews, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, and some other dude that catches balls, and Drake May. Incredible. Bryce Young, bench of the week, 95 points. I do think we need to put something together, maybe towards the end of the year, or something about this, the bench and how they might beat other people's, because Jake's bench beat flip-flops. Beat flip-flops.
Wow. Jeez.
Incredible, right?
It is pretty incredible. That is pretty incredible. That is definitely incredible.
Before we finish up the awards for the week, it's the newest awards. You know it. You love it. And you might be living it right now as we speak. You know who you are. It's the Wee Pee-Pee Award.
This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee.
For the Parlay Players of the Week. I did miss getting high points. We talked about that. You remember that, Marcus? A couple
Yeah, I
ago?
remember. Yes, I do.
Okay. But it was definitely not due to my lineup, because after rocking Big Bear's World by 44 points, this week I get to rise my wee pee-pee in your mom, because Chris Godwin dropped 36 hot.
Yeah, he did have a good week. Yeah.
Jared Goff dropped 34 and is continuing his hot year. Thank you for the trade, Ajay. And believe it or not, Nail Polish Nancy dropped 39-point nugget, albeit on my bench, but still a 39-point nugget.
That's pretty good.
Don't look now. Nail Polish Nancy's got 2 30-point weeks in a row. Is this going to be a thing?
You have to stay tuned to find out.
He's on bye this week, and you know it's typically after bye weeks when the rookies start turning it on. So
yes, the good ones. The good
see.
ones. Yeah, the good ones. Yeah, I get that.
So before we finish up with the awards, we got to go to the Week 6 rankings.
I'm scared to hear this one this week.
Little shake up this week. But not with number 12, because the Hank is 1-5. That's 1 win out of 6 games. Only 1. You're supposed to have more as the defending champion, but hey, Super Bowl hangover, right? Your mom hangover.
Yeah.
He got the ring. He got the coat, the jacket that he forgot to take with him. He got the big giant trophy. The hangover. That's a good one. Number 11, unfortunately, down 2 spots, is Bear, the Crimson Tide Heel Dogs at 2-4.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Bear, but it's your roster. Number 10, Flip flop flopper flippy McFadden still sleeping on the boardwalk. He is up 1. Why, you may ask, after his sad performance? His roster is still got a pretty strong roster.
Okay, fair enough.
Number 9, Jake's in charge. He's at 3-3 now. He's up 1 from last week. Turnaround?
Maybe.
Not according to GM of the Week's roast of him, but we'll see. Number 8, the mad scientist, Jeffrey. He's also at 3-3. Down 1, though, because of his loss. Moving on, number 7, Justin. He's 3-3 as well. A lot of 3-3s in this league.
Yeah.
Mr. Grass, he is down 2. And I know you lost a top guy, but that's 2 losses in a row, and I'm doing rankings here, so chill out.
Yeah.
Number 6, GM of the Week, Aaron.
That's bullshit.
Kid Free is back.
How,
that's just his name.
How is Marcus not worse than me? I just beat him.
Because
it's because he's on your fucking podcast.
You moved up 2 spots with a big win over your rival and a former top 3, but you're still 3-3. That's your average.
Listen, we all know what's going on. We see you staring at Marcus, looking at that microphone like it's a cock, and you're just hoping he does that to you. So you have to give him better. I get it. That's fine. Sure.
Whatever.
This is why we don't have guests on this show. They interrupt me. I'm the commissioner. It's my league. I'll do what I want.
You're wearing a chain. I got you.
Number 5. The coolest guy in the league, Rob, and the Apex Untouchables.
Okay.
He takes the biggest downturn this week. He drops to 3-3. He's down 3 spots from his number 2 spot last week. It was a tough loss against one of the worst teams in your mom, and unfortunately, when you lose to bad teams, you drop.
Yeah.
Number 4, it's you, Marcus.
Yeah, I figured I was going to drop. Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, it's just bad management this week. Over analysis is what I did. Yeah.
Also 3-3. You're 3-3.
Yeah, man. I just
I expected you to be better. I really did. But
so did I. But I'll get Tua back next week and stuff, I think, and so that'll put me back on board. I mean, I'm really trying to.
You dropped 1 spot.
Yeah.
Lost to a rival, a former bottom 4 in the rankings, and that's why you lost a spot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Number 3, Commistro. You know what? I'm 4-2. I hate my 2 losses. I am up 1 spot to number 3 from number 4 last week, and although I lost to young Sheldon on a bad bye week, and I lost a terrible loss to Flip Flops, who happened to have his greatest week, I'll take 4-2 at this point of the season. And coming in at number 2 in this week's I Have the Power ranking, young Sheldon, Mr. Ryan, you get the boner of the week for the biggest rise.
It's called a murder boner.
Wow, all the way up to number 2.
Number 2. When I looked at his record, I couldn't believe he was 4-2, but he is 4-2. Somehow he's 4-2. Roster's not too bad. Starting to shape up. And number 1, tech support.
Of course.
Anyways,
here we go.
that's it for the week 6 recap.
Wait, can I interrupt for a second? I just noticed, Marcus.
Yes.
You're playing Slurpee this week. 7-Eleven.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm
yes.
rooting for you. I'm actually rooting for you.
So am I.
He's going to say, I'm going to try and see if I can not play another player and still beat Marcus and continue as the number 1 team in your mom.
Yeah, and so, I expect a decent jump up if I win this week. And, he sent me a screenshot the other day. Oh, this isn't very good, evenly matched, because the ESPN had us at 50-50, odds of winning. But I still had guys on my bench that I was swapping out. You think I'm touching Will Levis again in the starting lineup? Hell no, man.
I'm surprised you haven't dropped him yet.
No. Well, there's nobody else to pick up, and I'm just waiting for Tua at this point to come back. If I can just I just got to keep my head above water till he comes back. But I have to hope that Miami season.
Quarterback to throw in there.
Yeah. The only one I have is Dalton. I don't,
And who else?
I have Dalton, Levis, and obviously I'm starting Lamar every week. But my other
Oh,
quarterback
Lamar,
is
I keep
Tua.
forgetting about. How could I
Yeah.
forget? You draft Lamar every year for the last 13 years, even though he didn't play 13 years ago.
I know, and he drives me crazy every year. But this year he's actually pulling his own weight. He's carrying me a little bit, but we'll see. I need Tua to come back, and I need Miami season to have something to play for him to come back. Because if their season's over, they may just give him the year off, and I may just have to take it on the chin, or in that case, up the ass, literally. But we'll see what happens.
Well,
We'll see what
with the
happens.
awards done, we all know what time it is now. It's time for Marcus's rants. What do you got today, Marcus?
First thing up I got today is, let me see what I got here. So I think we talked about this a little bit. Devante Adams, is this a thing? Is it going to help the
yeah.
Jets? Is it a big deal? Not big deal? The guy's on my roster, so obviously I have a vested interest in this. But I got to tell you, Deontay Johnson isn't performing that bad for me.
No, he's
So
good.
so
I mean,
don't.
he's a good wide receiver. He just needed somebody to throw it to him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it helps the Jets. I mean, Devante's never had a guy as good as Garrett Wilson on the other side. The risk that happens here is that, does it end up helping Wilson more than it helps Devante? I mean,
Good point.
I mean, it could very well end up being. I mean, Devante makes a huge impact from a fantasy standpoint only if he gets the lion's share of the load. But the reality is they have another Devante Adams there.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they do have Lizard, and he throws the ball a
He's
lot.
terrible. He's terrible.
He is, but my point being, he still throws the ball a lot to him,
Yeah.
and he has
Will he
more
throw
of
it
a
to him
comfort
less now?
level with Devante. So I think it's going to hurt Lizard's chance to get balls.
Absolutely.
I think Devante moves into that spot. I don't know about Garrett Wilson. That's going to be hard to see, but I remember texting you right as soon as I got the alert, and I was like, man, I know a couple weeks ago you said you're waiting for Devante Adams to kind of kick it into gear. Well, he's got his quarterback now, so we'll see. I think it might be good for him. I think it might be good for both of them. I mean, hey, look at the Eagles. Devante and A.J. Brown, they both get their shares. They both are scoring some points. And it could be one week where Garrett gets his and Devante gets some, and it could be vice versa
And that
another week.
drives you crazy as a manager. So when I've got,
it does drive you crazy as a manager, but if you don't have anybody with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and the talent of Devante Adams on your roster, then you just stick him in there and
hope for
let
the
him
best.
go.
He's available just in case anybody wants to know in the league. He is available for the right price. So I've got that, and then I want to talk about a little bit about Jerry Jones and Cowboys.
Couldn't happen to a better organization, right?
I mean, that was quite.
Hey.
Oh, the QB threw the ball and everyone said no, that you ought to know by now. And if you throw more picks, don't you worry about it. At least you got 240 million. And it seems like a waste of time because the team's on the drought. Good luck this year, but you just got blown out. You got blown out. Jerry.
What's our theme here on the YoMo show? Loser organizations. Well, they might have won Super Bowls a lot in the 90s, but since then, they have been nothing short of a loser organization. I don't care about the wins that they've done. They've just had nothing but bad losses. And this year is a culmination of giving Dak the money, and they just cannot do anything. Here we go.
All right. Well, listen. So there's a dysfunction in that organization. So I want to make a quick point. I mean, we've already touched on a few weeks ago. I think we touched on Yoda with legs, David Tepper from Carolina. So there's 2 points I want to bring up.
His name is.
Yeah, whatever. 2 points I want to bring up in here. One is they're stupid, and if you look at David Tepper, what is it, David Barry, whatever the hell his name is. If you look at his track record in the league, he's stupid because he bought this expensive toy, and he doesn't know how to run it. And he wasn't smart enough to pay somebody to run it for him without getting in their business and telling them what to do. So he's created that culture. That's just stupid because he doesn't know any better. Now we go to, and I think idiocy is a word. Is idiocy a word? Yeah. Okay.
I
Good.
think it is. Yeah. There's
Okay.
also
If that was,
Idiocracy, which is a great movie, and we're living in right now. Go ahead.
Channel. An all new album.
okay. So if not, we're going to create it. There is idiocy, and the reason that Jerry Jones falls into this category is because he knew when he bought the Cowboys that he couldn't run them. That's why he hired Jimmy Johnson. That's why it worked. It was smart. Then his ego got in the way, and he got tired of Jimmy getting all the credit, so they had to part ways. The Barry Switzer Super Bowl doesn't even count because it was all they did was take Jimmy's notes and Jimmy's playbook. All they did was do what Jimmy did for one more year, and they cashed in. So the Barry Switzer Super Bowl doesn't count. So he is the idiot. The idiot part of it is when you know better, and you're not even trying to do it that way. His ego is, the only person who's got a bigger ego than him must be his plastic surgeon, because the way he keeps butchering this poor old man's face, trying to convince him he looks good, it's ridiculous.
Fucking embarrassing.
He knows better, and he's chosen not to do it. And so one thing I don't understand is I was never a huge Jerry Jones fan from the get-go. But one time years ago, I saw a special on him on 60 Minutes. And if you see this guy's story and what this guy did to get the Cowboys and how he followed his passion for his dream to purchase the Cowboys, you would have a different perspective on him. But now that's worn off because he knows better. And I'm not saying he's drafted some pretty good talent. The problem. So I can't even say he's a terrible drafter. He's drafted some pretty good talent, and he's put together some decent rosters. He just needs to let coaches coach and stay out of it. And he should, like some people, what is it, dry February, where people don't drink for a month? I think Jerry should try a dry mic October. Just don't put your ugly face in front of a microphone for 1 month and see what good might happen. Another underlying thing that people don't realize, and I'm just going to say it because we can say whatever we want here.
Safe space.
I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest. Are we not?
You can criticize him for not firing Mike McCarthy, but think about this: who's he going to hire? What legitimate coach in the league wants to work for Jerry Jones?
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. Nobody wants to work for Jerry Jones. Who's he going to get?
They're not going to have any control.
Yeah, nobody. And you really think Bill Belichick wants that job? He doesn't want that job.
Yeah, if he doesn't have control, he is not going there.
Yeah, so I mean, get rid of that pipe dream. It's not going to happen. It's really it's as bad as dysfunction can be. It's just a zoo. And you know what? Good for Jason Garrett for getting out of that mess. Because I got to tell you, he's really good on TV. I think Jason Garrett does a great job. He should have started that 20 years ago. He wasn't a great head coach, but maybe it was Jerry's fault then too. But Mike McCarthy's
rewinding back to bad announcers, I think all the greatest color and analyst guys are all in the pre and post games. All the ones during games are terrible, and I just noticed it more and more this week. And I brought up Jonathan Vilma watching the Eagles game because I could clearly see watching the game that one of these plays, it was an offensive pass interference because the wide receiver tried to push off and he grabbed the defender's face mask of the Eagles, and Vilma was like, "Oh, the defender he's just interfering with him." He just kept saying it over and over and over again, and they kept showing the replay of the guy clearly grabbing his face mask. And when they called it, and they said it was a face mask personal foul in the offense, Vilma was like, "Oh, now I see it. Yeah, okay." I'm like, "You were wrong for 5 minutes." You're awful.
Those guys are terrible. But Jerry's got his hands full over there, and
we're not going back.
No, they're not. They're not America's team. Haven't been for a long time, and that place is it's a train wreck over there. It is. It's fucking embarrassing. It's a train wreck, and you know what? At least Dak got his money for putting up with that nonsense. I never thought Dak was that great, but at least he got his bag, and and apparently you got to shake Jerry upside down there to get paid, and that's not an easy process. He doesn't just throw the money at you, but it is what it is. That place is a disaster, and on the bringing up the last point on the end of that.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I had to get that out after talking about the Cowboys for that long.
Yeah, I get it. So, I'm sure you saw the game. Are the Lions the best team in the NFC?
I mean, as far as what they look like right now, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, a couple weeks ago we were talking about the Saints being the best team because they were scoring a bunch of
Yeah,
fucking
that
points.
can change. I mean,
Realize
they
how
did.
bad the Cowboys are, but I gotta say, yeah, I think they right now I think they are.
Yeah, I think they definitely are. I mean,
Right now.
losing Hutchinson's going to be a big thing, and then you got to worry about San Francisco hitting their stride. But I mean, maybe I'm just really rooting for Dan Campbell because I'd want to see a guy who's a man's coach win something in the league, because so everybody will copycat and stop hiring these young geniuses thinking they're the next hot thing to get you to the Lombardi Trophy. So I'd like to see him do well, but I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the coach, and they've got everything in place: defense, running game, quarterback, receivers. I mean, there's not a position that you could say that they're lacking in right now. Well, they got to replace Hutchinson, but I don't know.
They got a great culture there, and they're winning. Jared Goff looks incredible, which is great for me because he's on my team. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. And they can make that transition from loser organization to the other side, and they're on their way there.
I'd rather it be the Lions.
Yeah, so good for them. I hope they make it, and I think that was all I got. You got anything else you want to share, Commish?
The only thing I got is the quick matchups for next week.
Oh yes, go ahead and do that. Yeah.
We can go ahead and hop on out of here, and looking forward to the crystal ball of Week 7. The COMMISTRO gets some grass this week. I don't know. According to the liberal projections by ESPN, I'm predicted to beat him by 24. I don't know what his lineup looks like yet. Maybe he hasn't adjusted it, but I look to be on a full power this week. No buys. I think I'll pull this one out over the grass as long as there's no
injuries. Of course
injuries.
you would, yeah.
And guest appearance, I'll let him come in, and he can tell you what he thinks about this week.
So I have updated my roster while sitting here listening to you fuckers talk, and I'm now projected to win by 4, which is, I mean, come on, it's Barry. Like, he's gonna probably drink and forget to set a fucking lineup. So
immigrants.
I plan on taking away his soul like the North Carolina DMV took away his license. So here we go.
That was well played, Aaron. That was well played for your first time on a podcast. Anyways, got to agree with him. I think Aaron moves to 4-3, and unfortunately, Barry's going to drop down to 2-5. But you never know what could happen. Again, if Tyreek goes off, that means Tyler Huntley goes off, and there's still that chance. So we'll move on. Young Sheldon plays the mad scientist.
My name is Jeff.
Oh, goodness. I don't know if mad scientist changed his lineup yet. I'm going to pull the upset. I'm going to say mad scientist beats Young Sheldon. I think he's got a good enough team. I think he's had some bad luck. I think Young Sheldon, whatever. I think mad scientist wins. And the matchup of the week includes the bad guy again.
Oh, yes, that's right. Against Narin.
You to play Control Alt Delete, and you're actually projected to win, bro. You are actually projected to win. We're all cheering for you. I think even Aaron's going to root for you, which is hard to believe. But you are projected by 9, 8 or 9, however the math works there. And I think bad guy pulls it out and drops Control Alt Delete down to 5-2. Let's just hope he doesn't have one of those magical Monday nights again. Jake's in charge, plays the Hank. Is it time for Jake to win again and move to 4-3?
Wow, that would be big.
Think so. If 2022 Patrick Mahomes decides to show up for the Hank, might give him some trouble. But right now, he's projected to win by the highest margin. So
wow,
it'll be a blowout if it happens, but we'll see. And then finally, Flip Flops gets to play the coolest guy around. And unfortunately, I think he does get Malik Neighbors back. I think he does get Jonathan Taylor back. But I think he's just not there yet and drops to 2-5. I think Robbie Rob is going to pull out a big jump this week. He's projected pretty high. and we'll see how he does. Although I will say he's got Justin Fields in there right now, and according to my sources,
Yeah, he
Justin
may not even
Fields
be playing.
may not start. So that could change things around. But I don't think Russell Wilson is the answer either. So
No.
good luck to
Fool's
both of
gold
them.
over there in Pittsburgh.
Maybe Flip-Flops gets the chance this week to pick himself back up. But other than that, that's the prediction recaps for Week 7. Aaron, you got anything to leave us with?
I'm the best.
Man, he's a joke. Listen, lastly, before we go, movie line of the week. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making people think he didn't exist.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
See you next week. Listen, let's take a league survey. There is a Kaiser Soze in this league. I don't know who it is, but let's sign up on YouTube and give us your comments. Say if we did have one, who is it? Like and subscribe. See the 2.0 version on YouTube. Till next week, Commish Show. Later, Aaron. Later, guys.
See ya.
Pay me my money.
Don't blow your whistle too hard, Shorzy. You'll give yourself another conky.
I said the same thing to your mom about blowing my dink.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Oh, quit crying, Corey. You're just like your mom.
Yeah, fuck you.
She made me put her legs behind her head, then cried when she got a leg cramp. It's always something with her. I'm so sick of it.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Liam. You're just like your mom. She makes everything about her, even when it's Corey's mom's birthday.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Corey. Your mom likes me like she likes her Caesars. Stiffing on Sunday morning.
Tie game with 5 minutes left. You call that? What a fucking awful call.
Oh, you get that whining from your mom, bud.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
She made me put my whole arm inside her, then cried when I knocked over the box of baking soda she keeps up there.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Oh, I'm so mad at your mom right now, of course. She wanted to role play as a dog and master, but then killed the mood when she dragged her butthole across the carpet.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Liam. Your mom's got me on a pineapple diet, so I taste better for her, but she's so fucking fat that extra sugar might cost her a foot.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Corey. Your mom shoots so much cum around my room, I gotta put wood chips on the ground like I got fucking guinea pigs.
Fuck you!